Hey everybody, it's Yusef for Dad's Free Time Game Reviews, where I review the games that I play when no one needs me. How's it going, everybody? Today's game is Total Overdose, A Gunslinger's Tale in Mexico. I think it's weird because the first DVD in the case is Tomb Raider, but then the Gunslinger's Tale is in the back. So you like open it up and you're like, all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? Like, did I just buy Tomb Raider? Oh, here it is. Oh, thank goodness. Tomb Raider ain't even out yet. Nowadays, the way we figure out a game is supposed to be even a game is a lot of controversy is drummed up about it. Either people say it sucks or people say it's abnormally great. Nobody has an in-between. Nobody says something is just average or anything, unless, it's an actual reviewer. Most of the time, people are either, insanely upset because of the build-up of something, or they're insanely impressed, which, only is reserved for things like Nintendo, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, back in the day, I guess, when Xbox would release things, the only thing that they really cared about is making a competent system that could compete with PlayStation. And I believe that they did. But when they released this game, nobody really cared. Is that bad? I mean, is that okay? I'm totally fine with it. But anyway, I like the game. I bought the game. I thought it was excellent all the way through. And this is my review for Total Overdose, A Gunslinger's Tale in Mexico. Alright, so Ernesto Cruz was a DEA agent on the verge of exposing a Mexican drug cartel. He found their base of operations in the jungle and showed up with guns blazing. After blowing up everything, though, he gets on the airplane, gets shot up with enough drugs to kill a horse, and is thrown off the plane. Hence the name of the game, Total Overdose. But the story isn't about Ernesto, it's about his son, Tommy. In order to clear his father's name, he worked really hard as a DEA agent to get the chance to go undercover in Mexico. He was given a mission to prove his worth, then a grenade broke his leg. It seems the buena suerte is with this familia. Hola. Did I say the story was about Tommy? So I lied. The story is really about Tommy's criminal ass, blowing shit up, stunt driving, dual wielding twin brother Ramiro, who lives for this shit like Vin Diesel in Triple X. Ramirez wants to clear his dad's name too, but without all of that messy paperwork. I'm so down with the vibe of this game. There aren't that many Mexican protagonists in games at all. And I feel like this was one of the reasons why this game didn't do so well. But Just Cause had the same sort of appeal, except not in Mexico. But I like the old Robert Rodriguez El Mariachi trilogy and Grindhouse B movies like Machete. So this game was crazy balls fun for me. I mean, Ramiro is off the chain. He's not even trying to hide who he is. He's clearly insane. He's like, this is how felons fuck shit up in the States, bro. Who designed that purple shirt, though? Total Overdose is an early open-world third-person shooter. It consists of shooting sections, driving sections, and general open-world sections where you're supposed to gather tokens before your next assignment. The shooting sections are usually consumed with building up a multiplier so that you can build up your slow-mo dives. Yes, there is bullet time. You can also shoot people normally, but that will lead to you running out of bullets pretty fast. So you want to get used to the headshot mechanic, which is a timing mechanic that allows your pistols to be just as important as your machine gun. You get extra points if you combine mechanics together. For instance, if you do a headshot while doing a slow-mo, you get points for that. There are a ton of these combinations, including jumping out of a car and shooting somebody in slow-mo. You have a certain amount of time that you can multiply your score before you shoot somebody else. But your timer resets every time you kill a person, which is another reason for you to use the headshot mechanic. Also, and this is the craziest stuff, when you start doing well on the multiplier, this crazy merengue music will play. Personally, I don't even like merengue music, but it's so appropriate when you're shooting people in the head that it makes me upset when I start to fail. There are also special moves, and I will tell you that only 3 of them are worth a damn. The tornado, where Ramiro spins around in a circle and shoots everything, is hilarious because sometimes he shoots things that aren't even bad guys, like chickens. The golden gun is dope because you one-shot kill everybody you run into unless it's a boss, then you will just take off a chunk of energy. But the best of all super moves is El Mariachi, where you roll through there Desperado style with 2 machine gun packed guitar cases and unload an orgasm of bullets into bad guys, complete with an invincible bulletproof vest. I used this move on almost every boss and destroyed them completely, and you know I hate boss fights. There's nothing really to talk about with the driving mechanics. Apparently in Mexico, every car is a straight up junker and drives accordingly. There are about 5 different cars to drive, and that's okay with me, but when he steals one, he always has a funny thing to say with the person he steals it from. They speak Spanish, he always responds in irritated English. It cracks me up. In the open world, there are tokens for you to pick up. Some of them are points, which open up your abilities. Some of them are obligatory tokens that give you more health or longer slow-mo time. The ones you really want to get are the gun tokens, because collecting enough of those will lead to unlimited arrow on certain guns. And since you can play through again with all your power-ups, it makes it great for you if you just want to come back for nostalgia's sake and cause more mayhem. Anyway, getting the points was kind of fun because they lead you into a string of point collecting. So sometimes you would drive your car off a ramp to get some points and a cool slow-mo car ramp jump thing will happen. And sometimes you would climb up to the top of a building and zip line to another building and collect things. I mean, it's all a little unnecessary if you ask me. They force you to go through a kind of bare Mexico. But I did feel accomplished going through the zip line and collecting points, so there's that. There is a rewind token that you can collect if you do various things like a multiplier score or just randomly beat missions. The rerun button is like a Prince of Persia, and it allows you to move back in time to before you screwed up. But unlike Prince of Persia, this rewind will give you a small amount of energy back, and the game doesn't really tell you this. I went through half the game wondering why my second time through was a little bit easier after every rewind. Most of the missions were standard for the type of story that the game was about in Mexico. Shoot this person, blow this thing up, that sort of thing. However, there was one mission I fucking hated, and that was the forklift mission, in which my manager's car was surrounded by a bunch of boxes that I needed to move by a certain time. I mean, from the beginning of the gate all the way to the boxes, and then move the boxes, and then get out of the forklift, and then get into your manager's car, and then drive this car back to him within that time limit. The boxes had a glitch. I hate this game. There's too many glitches on it. It's stupid. I'm trying to be fast, but then my stuff gets stuck there. If you move them a certain way, they will fuse to the other box, making them impossible to pick up. Also, the time was not generous, and if you happen to move the boxes in such a way that they were in the path of the car, guess what? You failed the Fargan mission. Not only did I not pick up this game to do manual labor, but driving a forklift is one step above being a regular worker in a factory. And I've worked in a factory before, and I've seen forklift drivers move shit way faster than this video game. It dragged the gameplay down to a slow crawl, and not only that, but it was preparing you for some shit you had to do at the end of the game, which makes it more excruciating. Garbage. There are other glitches, of course, because pretty much all open world games have some horrendous glitches, but the other glitches were pretty funny. Like, they would have cutscenes and the AI on the cutscenes would just go apeshit crazy for no reason. The music was great. As a matter of fact, it was so great that every playthrough I did got content ID'd. But the music fulfilled its purpose of immersing you into a game that was all about you being in Mexico. And even though it was a bit corny, and the chances of me looking for this soundtrack is absolutely zero, it did work well for the game, and will always make this game pop up in my head first whenever you talk about cool Mexican games. Like I said before, the bosses were not too hard. Most of them were just guys with guns and a bulletproof vest, but not bulletproof enough for El Mariachi. I mean, seriously, that move is the shit. Can't believe how many times you can shut down a problem just by showing up with 2 guitar cases full of guns. I mean, in El Mariachi, the main character just mistakenly got the guns from a different assassin, right? But then as the trilogy went on, it just turned out that he was the guy who was the assassin for no reason. Just wanted to show up and shoot people in the face with guns. Then he had homeboys he could call, like he came from a dojo with guns. It was such a weird movie. But it's always nice to shut down any problem you got in a place where the bars have beers that you wouldn't even drink. El Mariachi. So there you have it, a review for Total Overdose, Gunslinger's Tale in Mexico. I wish that they made a second one. The company closed down before they were able to make a second one, and the only other one with these characters is Chili con Carnage. Which, I mean, whoever's making these titles is doing a great job. You know, you'll have to cop a PSP to get a hold of that game to even check it out to see if it's good. I believe that if it's more the same of this, then it should be excellent. But when they're about to release the second one, then the gaming company shut down, which really sucks. I mean, when gaming companies shut down after they make a good game, nobody buys it. You know, it stinks because people put a lot of energy into games, and you know, even nowadays the games aren't they cost a ton of money to make. In order for people to make their money back, they have to like sell a ton of games because they're selling them at, you know, reasonable prices. I mean, a game has always been around $40 to $50 brand new, maybe $60, you know, since I was a kid, like 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of amazing that they even get some of these things done. But you know, when you kind of want extra ones, you're tired of playing that 17th you know, installment of Assassin's Creed, and you look at the games that you played that you know were good, you know, it kind of makes you disappointed that even if they were good games, they don't get, you know, sequels. You know, same thing with movies and rappers who don't want to utilize their contracts to the fullest. Anyway, so there's your there's your review. If you like the artwork, that artwork can be found on CraftyAcuity.org. If you have any commissions for me, you can go ahead and send me an email at yusuf.crow@gmail.com telling me what you want me to draw. Also, there's a Patreon, or there will be a Patreon someday, and and also all of my prints are for sale. So if you would like to buy one, you know, let me know. Usually they're about $15 a print. Okay, so Everybody have a nice day, and I will talk to you for the next Dad's Free Time game review. Hoops. Peace.